Hello everybody, and welcome to another process video. Well, this time I did a thing of Nier, one of my favorite characters, one of my favorite video games actually. Uh, so grab some coffee or something, just sit with me while I ramble here about what I'm doing. So this was a freestyle thing. I didn't really have anything planned out. I just did one decent first drawing, and I just kind of decided what I wanted to do from there. So what I'm doing right here are the main keys, or they're pretty much just like layouts. I'm laying out where the most extreme parts of the action are, and then from there, I you know I look at a couple of drawings, and then I decide if I wanna make another completely different pose between two drawings, or is it a straight up in between? And I do that throughout the whole thing. I'll look at two drawings and go like, okay, something needs to be in the middle here. Like right now, I'm doing the anticipation drawing from before she jumps into the air. Now the legend here is that the red is where I'm coming from. The green is where I'm going to. Yeah, the drawings I'm going to. So you're making an anticipation drawing, and then from there you can see that's very far away. So I decide, okay, what goes on in the middle? Does she just jump up straight and fade, and shrink back into the background, or I go like, nah, it's probably better if she does a flip. Why? Because it's just more action that way, and it's more near. It's not near until she does a backflip. So I grab the next two drawings, and then I just I just go at it. So you see, that's a completely different pose. Even though it's similar to the pose I'm coming from, it is a completely different pose. Until it's a straight up in between going on, I'm not going to stop making keys. So I just keep making these key drawings. I take two drawings that I've done, and in between them, I'll make a blank frame because it's not a straight up in between yet. So now this drawing I'm doing right here is actually the last drawing. Uh, I kind of decided then that I might want to make it just be able to loop back to the first drawing. So I did that last drawing that comes right back up where she came from. And you say, sorry, and then now I'm grabbing the next couple of drawings. And it's not a straight up in between, so I know even though she's moving from one drawing to the next, no, it's not a completely different pose. She is just moving from one drawing to the other by now. But it has to be drawn in. It's not an in between. I was an in betweener for the first 2 years of when I started, but I was a crappy in betweener. I don't like clean drawings. I think you can tell. I don't like clean drawings. I like rough drawings. I tend to just kind of stop. That's why most of my work is just works in progress, and I never really come back to them. There's a look to roughs that is lost when it comes to making clean lines. That's what I think. So from one drawing to the other, I kind of decide, okay, is it arcing towards that drawing that I'm going to, and which way is it arcing? Is it arcing downwards, moving up to the next drawing, or is it arcing upwards? And then you refer to the rest of your other drawings, and then see if the flow of action, the flow is still smooth. Every now and then I do break it. I don't believe you have to maintain this smooth, curvy line of action or line of movement throughout the whole thing. There are times, especially in action sequences, you have to be able to break the smoothness so that you have this bit of a jarring effect, so that the character looks like they have muscle power, because that they're moving out of their own accord. Because if everything was just moving uh, according to like following a smooth line of action, then you may as well just animate a leaf or a lifeless thing that just kind of gets blown by the elements. But if you're animating sentient things like people you know, or things that have the power to move themselves, things with muscles. Every now and then you do break the line of action because there's certain parts of your body that will suddenly just go left, up, right, or go a completely different direction from the line of action. I mean, that's how, you know, I mean, what I'm saying is, I mean, to clarify, it's like, say, if you're holding a sword and you swing it, right? A completely smooth line of action would be just coming from when you're holding the sword and then just making this archy, smooth, curved motion, swiping towards whatever it is you're slicing. And all you have is this, like, one movement that is just boring. Now, what you need is for that character to anticipate first, like move the arms back or move the arms up. Anticipate where they're going to, and then do the motion, and then settle into a final pose after that. So at this point, I'm just making drawings. I'm grabbing two drawings, and I'm just deciding, okay, do I need a drawing that is closer to where I'm coming from? Because that's how you express weight in animation. From wherever it is you're coming from to the drawing you're going to, you're gonna want the normal sequence is you want a drawing that is coming away from the drawing you're coming from, that is closer to it. There's a fairing to it. We used to call it fairing. You make a drawing that's closer to where you're coming from, and then you make a drawing that's closer to where you're going to. You don't make straight in-betweens. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? So now I'm just settling into that last drawing. And it's pretty much there. It's pretty much in the same place. Because I want that. I don't always want it to, just because you moved really fast to the thing, suddenly you're coasting, you know, or you're still drifting downwards just because you moved fast towards that drawing. No, sometimes you just want to freeze right into that pose, like they do in Japanese action films or samurai films, right? They do a big sweeping fast motion, and then they kind of like try to freeze in a pose. And that's where a lot of the appeal of anime comes from. You know, it's from it's from samurai and ninja days. You know, where they martial arts, where you do a quick movement and then you freeze right after that. You know, which is supposed to be unnatural, but you don't achieve that by making all the animation completely smooth. Every now and then, you've just got to end up in the same place, and you know, and have all the other elements define the weight, like the hair, you know, the follow-throughs on the clothes and things like that. Let that do the express the weight or express the softness. So here I've got, you know, if you can see here, I'm making a drawing that's pretty close to where I'm coming from, and then from there it's like this is a straight up in between right here, except for the boobas, and that's what I'm talking about, where I'm using that part to express the weight or to finish the action. Like the action is finished, she's frozen in place, raising her arms up, but the soft parts of her are kind of catching up and wobbling around.